I finally finished reading A Little Life, and there are a lot of things about this book that are phenomenal, and a lot of things about this book that we kind of need to talk about a little bit. First off, just a brief synopsis of what the book is about. It is essentially about four friends, Jude, Malcolm, JB, and Willem, and it takes place in New York. The plot is about their life in New York, um, outside of New York. Basically, the plot is about them growing up, their lives, a little life, their little lives. It also has no association with the song Little Life. I thought it did, but yeah, there's no real correlation. At least I don't think there is. I should have probably double checked that. While this book is about these four characters, it's mostly about one character in particular, and that is Jude, a character that has went through a lot of things as a child. Without spoiling anything, he has been through a lot of things and a lot of trauma in his life, and he has to live with that trauma. It's kind of hard to talk fully about Jude's story without spoiling anything, so I'll probably talk about more about that later in this video, like a spoiler section of Little Life, just in case there's anybody watching a review on the novel that hasn't read the book, though I don't know why you would click a video called Little Life review and you didn't read A Little Life, or maybe you just want to know about the book. But yeah, okay, regardless, I'm not going to spoil anything yet. There are a lot of things in this novel as well, things such as love, friendship, trauma, survival, like they all pop up within this one novel. It's because of these themes that are presented in the book, reason why I can't recommend this book to just anybody. And I feel like I just can't recommend it to people on the internet, on YouTube, without fully knowing them. Is Little Life a sad book? Yes, it is a very, very sad and depressing book. But it's still not a book that I can just say, hey guys, you want to read something sad? You're looking to cry? Well, just read A Little Life. Here you go. That would be very irresponsible of me to do. And funny enough, I found A Little Life on Instagram Reels. It was recommended to me by, some reel said, like, sad books, top 5 sad books, whatever. And A Little Life was there. And A Little Life just constantly kept popping up on every single reel that I was watching. So I was like, okay, I'll get the book. I didn't know too much about it, except that it was sad and it had to do with 4 friends in New York. But I'm glad that I read A Little Life at the age that I am now, because I felt like it was a book that arrived in my life at the perfect time. A lot of the things that happen within this book I can relate to some aspect, not everything. A lot of it kind of felt like I was reading a story about a group of guys my age, probably because I'm 28, and it was just a little bit more relatable. Like if I read this book when it came out, which I believe it came out in 2015, I would have been, 19? I probably wouldn't have enjoyed A Little Life the way that I do now. Pacing of A Little Life overall is okay, I would say. There are parts of the novel that I really felt I was a part of the world, like I was truly invested. Like the book engulfed me. And then there are other parts that really felt like I just needed to get past this. Very I can't say the word, but you guys know the word I'm trying to say. Monopolist. I just can't say it. You know what I'm trying to say though, okay? You know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, there are definitely parts that really felt drawn out, I'd say, but I don't think that is a bad thing about the novel. The novel is called A Little Life, and it's about life. It's about Jude's life. It's about his friend's life. It's about the lives of all these characters are within the novel. And that's what life is. Sometimes life is really exciting, and other times life can be boring, and there's not a lot of things to do, There's not always excitement in our everyday lives. I think that's what I appreciated about it, because I never felt truly that even the slow parts were bad or really boring. It felt like, yeah, no, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what life is. Overall, though, if I had to really just give a rating for A Little Life, I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. I feel like I can't give it a straight 5 out of 5 just because there's certain things in A Little Life that I'm going to talk about now that just, I guess, bothered me in some way. But yeah, that is the like non-spoiler version of A Little Life. Now I'm talking about spoilers. Okay, so if you haven't read it, thank you for getting this far. But now we're talking about spoilers. And now we're gonna be talking about spoilers. I'm gonna talk about things that I really much enjoyed about the book, things that I did not like, and things that I kind of felt were a tad bit problematic. So starting off with what I did like, I very much did enjoy and love the brotherhood, the friendship of these 4 characters, Malcolm, Willem, Jude, and JB. I love that. I loved it so much that the part in the book where they go to JB's apartment because he's been doing drugs and they're trying to get him help, trying to help him out, and JB basically mocks Jude and says that, hey, I'm Jude St. Francis and I'm walking like a zombie. Like I can show you. Like he basically does one of these, like a zombie walk. He's making fun of Jude, okay? You get the point. He's making fun of Jude. That part there, yeah, that broke me. That broke my heart. That was the part that I was very close to crying because Jude is somebody who's very sensitive, and we already know this. We already know this from reading. Very sensitive, very self-conscious about it, and he doesn't trust a lot of people. But the people that he does trust, his friends being one of the biggest, you don't expect the people that you consider friends, your brothers, to hurt you in such a way, to do you wrong. And JB doing Jude wrong, knowing everything about Jude, it broke me. I was so close to crying. Probably too because I've experienced something like that, of you have a very close friend, a brother, whatever, and they do you wrong, and you just, it hurts. It hurts, okay? And what's sad about it is that even when JB apologizes, Jude lets us know, the readers, that he understands JB is truly sorry, but he can't fully forgive him. He can't find the words to say, I forgive you. It's true. That's the part of the novel where you can really feel like them as friends are breaking up, that it's not going to necessarily be the same as it was when they're in college. But since we're already still on the topic of JB, I'm going to skip a little bit in the book. There was the part where, towards the end, where Jude goes to JB's art exhibit that he's having. And this is where JB paints that picture of Willem. And Willem just died. I can say that. We are in the spoiler part of the video now. Willem died, and I don't know what was going on in JB's head to kiss Jude on the lips. What are we doing here? I didn't fully get that. I had to read through that section a couple times just to see, did I miss something? Why did he just kiss Jude? And he says because Jude was looking so sad. It just felt a little out of character. It's like, Jude wouldn't like that. What are you doing, JB? What are you doing, man? I don't know. Yeah, that just kind of felt really strange to me. What also felt a little strange to me was Jude and Willem's relationship. Not them being friends, but I kind of felt like them dating each other and getting into a romantic relationship wasn't fully genuine. Hear me out. So earlier in the book, when we get the chapter of Willem and his brother Hemming, and how much, when we find out about Hemming, and we find out that Willem loved Hemming, how much he cared about Hemming, this and that. And then we get to the part where Willem is asking himself, is he in love with Jude? Early in the chapters, at the beginning of their relationship, it kind of very much felt like Willem was comparing Jude to Hemming. I hope I'm saying that guy's name right. And it felt a little off to me. It just kind of felt like, okay, are you truly in love with Jude, or are you just in love with them because now you're seeing your brother and you've always seen your brother in Jude? It just felt I wasn't able to fully get behind that. It just felt a little off to me. Later, when the relationship continues, I was able to, like, okay, well, whatever, it is what it is, like, they're together, like, they're together. But they get into this fight, and Jude says to Willem, I'm not Hemming, I don't need you to take care of me like that, or something around those lines, right? And I'm like, okay, well, this is what it feels like it just kind of reinforced this idea that I already had. Like, I don't know, Willem, do you truly love Jude, or if you're just like, you're just seeing your brother in him. Okay, and now we're gonna talk about Jude. I don't know what's up with Hanya. I don't know. Did she just want to cause trauma for this character? It's just like there's so many things that happen with Jude that at one point it's like, okay, like, is this just gonna keep happening? Like, it's like, so you just wrote his story to be like the worst of the worst things that can happen to you. Like, he gets saved from Brother Luke, and then he goes somewhere else and he's experiencing the same thing, and then he leaves that place, and then he experiences the same thing again. It's like, bad, saved, okay, it's like, okay, bad, saved, bad, saved, bad, like, throughout his whole childhood. Like, it's like, if we're talking about a system failing a child, the system failed Jude. Why was Brother Luke even in the monastery? Why would you have somebody like that there? Because we know that the adults, the other priests, whatever they are, the monks, we know that they know something different about Brother Luke, because they tell Jude, be careful with Brother Luke. He's not who he seems. Something like that they say, right? But he's still there. If that's the case, why do you have Brother Luke there? Brother Luke should not be there. He should not be in the monastery. Jude should not be there. It just, this whole thing could be avoided. What are the adults doing here? Then after the monastery, then Jude goes to the home, and it's just, again, he has to deal with the same thing that he was just dealing with Brother Luke. And these are the people that are supposed to be protecting him. And it's just like, okay, like, really? Like, can this child not find any peace nor no happiness at all? Is this really it? Like, we're dealing with the same thing. We just took him out of this. Like, the police were involved. You just saved him from Brother Luke. And now you put him here and he's experiencing the same exact thing. It's like, what are we... It's frustrating. It's real frustrating. Once again, it's Hanya's story. That's the way that she wanted to write Jude. I get it. But it's still frustrating. Jude leaves that. He's on the road. The same things are happening to him. It feels... I don't know, man. You know what I'm talking about, though. You know what I'm talking about. It's just so frustrating reading this stuff. Like, really? Like, did our whole entire system just say, yeah, whatever? It never really felt like Jude ever got the help that he deserved or needed until it was far too late in his life. Jude has had so many things that happened to him, so many things that have gone wrong. And although Andy is my favorite character in the novel, it's very frustrating. what I'm very frustrated about when it comes to Andy is that Andy knows all these things that are going on, and he just like it's like he's okay with it. He doesn't get him help. He threatens Jude. If you don't gain weight, if you don't stop this, if you don't do this, then I'm going to have you submitted to the hospital. What are we waiting for, Andy? Just submit him. We know he needs help. We know that he's not okay. We know that he's struggling with stuff. Why is nobody just here to help him? Just because he says, I don't need this, because he says, I don't want to go, and he says, I'm happy, I can't do it. Help him. He never got the help. He just never got the help. Jude just feels like we're watching him be sad. We're watching him not be okay. And nobody was there to truly help him. Nobody. Nobody thought, yo, I don't care what you're saying. We need to help you now. After the first time, that scene in the book where Jude first tries to end his life was probably the most traumatic scene for me in the novel. I had to look away from the book reading that part. But after that happened, that should have been the telltale sign of, yeah, no, nah, you're not okay, at all. And yeah, he had a little intervention, and everybody came, making sure he was okay, this and that. But it was one of those things like, oh my God, Jude, you did this? What do you mean? We know that he wasn't okay. We know Jude wasn't okay. We know that he was never fully okay, that he has recovered from stuff. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. Why does Harold not know about Jude's life? I get that Jude doesn't want to tell Harold. Andy, tell him, so that he can understand his son better. So people can understand Jude better. And I get Jude was a character that did not want people to view him as disabled or somebody who needed help. But he needs help. He needed help. Even at the very end of it all, at the very, very, very end of the book. And I feel like we already knew how the story was going to end. We already knew how Jude's story was going to end. And it ended the way that I think majority of us expected. He tries to end his life, and this time he's successful. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And once again, this is the way that Hanya wanted to write her novel. Then I get it, but it goes past for me of being sad to just being mad, angry, and frustrated. And before I even leave on this, I still got to talk about Caleb. And I don't want to talk about Caleb. I'm not talking about Caleb, man. Because that whole part, just constantly, there's no, the best thing to happen to Jude was him meeting his friends. The best thing to happen to Jude was Willem. There's just no real, true, big highlights. It's just so much saddening, depressing, traumatic things that constantly happen to Jude. The fact that people kept trusting Jude. Hey, Jude, where'd you get that bruise from? Oh, I fell down the stairs. Jude didn't fall down the stairs. Jude keeps lying to you guys. He's been doing it for years. Why do we keep believing him? Why don't we get him out? I don't know. That's it. Yeah, that is my review of A Little Life. I did enjoy the book. I did like the book. It is a book that I will be thinking about for the next couple days for sure. Can I recommend this book to everybody? No, not at all. Do I wish that there was a movie of A Little Life? I very much so do. I do know that there was the play that only premiered in London, I believe. I don't know why it never came to the States or why we can't stream it or whatever. But, maybe one day A Little Life will get a movie, TV show. I don't know. But yeah, as you can tell, I have a lot of strong feelings about this book. So the next book that I will be reading is a lot lighter than A Little Life. But yeah, till next time, guys. You guys take care. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'm very shocked the fact that I have 43 subscribers in such a very short time frame, and you guys have been leaving great, wonderful comments and being so nice to me. So thank you for being kind, and never forget to be kind to yourself. Till next time, you guys take care. Okay, bye bye.